Imagine sitting in a sweet little cafe in Paris right across the Seine with a view of Notre Dame while the sun is shining and you watch lovely couples passing by. What's missing to make the scene complete? That's right, a lovely juicy pain au chocolat for you to enjoy while taking in the sights. Dread not, my friends, help us on the way. Today we will learn how to make your very own delicious, crunchy and juicy French chocolate pastry, the famous pain au chocolat at home, one that will transport you straight to France. Hello my friends and fellow Apollonians, welcome back to Apollo's Diner. Nothing says Vive la France more in a culinary way than a wonderful pain au chocolat. Flaky, crunchy yet tender on the inside, it's a perfect little treat to transport you somewhere else and just enjoy the moment. The best part, once you have the dough, it's actually not that hard. To learn how to make the dough yourself, I highly recommend watching my video on making puff pastry with the 6-fold method. That's the dough I'll be using today. Let's get started! What you'll need for about 5 yummy pain au chocolat. 500 grams or 1.1 pounds of my puff pastry. If you want to learn how to make it, check out the video I made about it. I put a link in the video description. If you're in a real hurry, you could also use store-bought dough, but believe me my friends, nothing beats homemade. A store-bought dough will never be as buttery, flaky or puff up as much as one you make yourself. Vanilla pudding is what makes this version of pain au chocolat so juicy inside. Here's what we will need to make our own. 1 cup or 240 milliliters of whole milk, a quarter cup or 50 grams of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons or 12 grams of cornstarch, a pinch of salt, a large egg yolk, 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of butter, half a vanilla bean pod. You could also substitute it with a teaspoon of vanilla extract, but nothing beats a real vanilla pod. A mix of dark and milk chocolate drops. If you get 1 pack, about 100 grams or 3.5 ounces each, you should be good to go. And 1 egg for the finish. Let's start by preparing our delicious vanilla pudding. For the filling, but also because it's just so good on its own. As I said, it's the secret to our pain au chocolat's juiciness. We start by slicing the vanilla bean pod in half lengthwise. Use the back of a knife or a little teaspoon to scrape out the tiny seeds inside. Now add 3/4 or 180 milliliters of the milk, the vanilla bean seeds and the empty vanilla bean pot into a medium saucepan. And heat the mixture on medium heat until it's steaming but not boiling. This will allow the vanilla to fully infuse. Meanwhile, combine the dry ingredients, sugar, cornstarch, and the pinch of salt in a bowl. In another small bowl, whisk the remaining quarter cup or 60 milliliters of milk with the egg yolk. Gradually whisk the mixture into the dry ingredients. Now take about a quarter cup or 60 milliliters of the warm milk mixture and slowly pour it into the milk-egg mixture while mixing to temper it. This is a delicate process. Too fast and we have sweet scrambled eggs, which, while interesting, is not what we're going for. So take your time and whisk like your dessert depends on it. It actually does. Make sure to whisk constantly and be careful that the heat is not too high to prevent the eggs from scrambling. Once tempered, pour the milk-egg mixture back into the saucepan with the vanilla-infused milk. Cook over medium heat, stirring constantly until the pudding thickens. This should take about 3 to 5 minutes. Remove the pan from the heat and remove the vanilla pot. And now stir in the butter until fully combined. That's it, my friends, a delicious vanilla pudding ready to go. I won't judge you if you accidentally taste test more than necessary. Quality control is important. Just try to leave some for the filling, okay? Let the pudding cool down a little before we start assembling our pain au chocolat. Let's preheat our oven to 190 degrees Celsius or 374 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's start by rolling out our flaky pastry dough. Now cut off any uneven borders with a pizza cutter or a sharp knife while using a ruler or your rolling pin as a guide. You can build a fifth rectangle with the remaining cut dough. Pinch the edges together, then fold and roll it out a few times. Now let's start cutting equally sized rectangles. It's time for the filling. Add some pudding to the edge of two opposite sides. Line the pudding with a mix of chocolate drops. Carefully roll up each side toward the middle, but be careful not to stretch the dough, otherwise they might not puff up as much. And nobody wants a sad, flat pain au chocolat. That would be a pain to look at. Pinch the dough rolls together in the middle where they meet to create a connection between both sides. Once that's done, place your pastries onto a baking tray with the seam side down. Now let's give them a little egg wash. Beat an egg, mix it up, and use a silicone brush or your fingers to give them a thin coating. That will give them the beautiful golden brown look we're aiming for. Also place a heat-resistant bowl on the floor of your oven. The steam will help the baking process later on. Into the oven with them, let them bake for about 20 to 30 minutes, but keep an eye on them. Every oven is a bit different. Now comes the hardest part, waiting. But stay strong, my friends. Good things come to those who wait. Once they've puffed up and turned golden brown, it's time to take them out. Don't they look lovely? The best way is to enjoy them straight out of the oven, but they'll still be equally delicious a few days later, if they lasted long. Let's be honest, the real challenge is not eating them all at once. Be prepared to be transported straight to heaven when you take a bite of these little delights. And there you have it, my friends. Flaky, crunchy, yet tender and juicy pain au chocolat that will make you feel like you're right in Paris. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe and hit the bell for more delicious recipes and vintage inspired fun. What would you pair these lovely sweets with? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining me in the kitchen today. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video.